Here's a chapter almost nobody talks about. What if smoke wasn't humanity's first addiction, but one of its earliest medicines? Long before pleasure or ritual, ancient people searched for relief. Sometimes they found it rising with smoke. One of Egypt's oldest medical texts recorded something surprising: healing recipes that relied on carefully prepared smoke. They believed certain heated herbs could ease breathing and soothe damaged throats. Strange, but understandable for their time. Your modern brain probably resists this idea immediately. Mine did too. Smoke? Curing lungs? It feels completely backwards. Yet some ancient herbs contained real active compounds. The smoke wasn't magic. It carried chemistry they couldn't explain. Even Hippocrates described herbal vapors for certain illnesses. Medicine was still learning by observation, not laboratories. Their reasoning was surprisingly logical. If medicine must reach the lungs, why not let breathing carry it there? We still follow that same principle today. Inhalers change the technology, not the basic biological idea. Thankfully, medicine evolved beyond burning plants. If stories like this fascinate you, subscribe to the Oralis before we continue. Ancient India developed its own practice called Dhoomapana. Smoke wasn't recreation. It followed careful medical traditions, different herbs, different illnesses, different preparations. Every detail mattered because experience became their first scientific teacher. Across Egypt, Greece, India, China, and Mesopotamia, one pattern quietly repeats. Humanity kept experimenting with the same invisible pathway. Not because smoke was fashionable, not because it looked impressive. They believed it sometimes eased suffering, and that was enough. In ancient medicine, sometimes it helps meant hope. And hope was often the most valuable treatment anyone possessed. Perhaps the real story isn't smoke itself. Perhaps it's humanity refusing to stop searching for relief, no matter the century. But healing wasn't only physical. Humans also needed something just as essential: each other. For our ancestors, being alone rarely meant freedom. More often, it meant danger. Survival belonged to the group. Anything that strengthened trust became valuable. Shared meals, shared stories, sometimes even shared smoke around a fire. If this journey through forgotten history speaks to you, subscribe to the Oralis. We still have the most surprising chapter ahead. Shared rituals did something remarkable. They helped strangers feel connected, creating trust that words alone could never build. Modern neuroscience suggests shared rituals can strengthen social bonds. Our brains were shaped for connection long before civilization. For ancient people, gathering around smoke wasn't always escape. Sometimes it was simply how communities became families. Trust meant hunting together. Trust meant sharing food. Trust meant believing someone would protect you when danger finally arrived. But every powerful tradition carries a hidden risk. One small change can transform meaning into addiction and ritual into business. When tobacco reached Europe, history accelerated. What was once sacred suddenly became fashionable, profitable, and impossible to ignore. Within only a few generations, curiosity became obsession. Demand spread faster than anyone could understand its long-term consequences. Soon, tobacco wasn't just consumed. It became status, fashion, and a symbol that wealthy society proudly displayed. Then industry entered the story. Machines replaced rituals, producing cigarettes faster than any culture had ever imagined possible. If you're enjoying this deeper side of history, subscribe to the Oralis. The darkest chapter is only beginning. For thousands of years, tobacco lived inside ritual. In just a few centuries, it became an industrial commodity. Profit changed the story. Once money became the goal, human well-being slowly stopped being the priority. History records painful choices. Companies defended products long after warning signs had already begun to appear. Engineers learned something unsettling. Small chemical changes could make dependence arrive faster and last much longer. A sacred plant wasn't the villain. The system built around endless consumption changed everything that came before. Imagine placing an ancient healer beside a modern tobacco executive. They shared one plant, but almost nothing else. The smoke looked similar. The intention did not. And intention often shapes history more than the object itself. So when did all of this truly begin? The honest answer is, nobody can say with complete certainty. Archaeology gives us fragments, not complete stories. Every discovery answers one question while quietly creating another. If you're still here, you're exactly who the Aralis was created for. Subscribe, because the final mystery is even deeper. Maybe this story began beside the very first campfire. The moment curiosity became stronger than fear. Someone noticed a plant could change the way they felt. Then they remembered and tried it again. That simple act reveals something extraordinary. Humans don't just experience the world, we learn from it. Long before kingdoms or written history, people everywhere were already exploring plants, fire, and the human mind. The plants were different. The rituals evolved, but the question stayed the same. What else is possible? And perhaps that's what truly connects us to our ancestors. Not smoke itself, but endless curiosity. Across 100,000 years, invisible threads still remain. Quiet reminders that we were never as different as we imagine. Fire gave us warmth. Breath gave us life. Curiosity gave us civilization. Together they shaped who we became. Even today, the smell of a campfire can awaken something ancient inside you, something words rarely reach. Your brain recognizes patterns your ancestors depended on. Sometimes memory survives longer than history itself. Knowledge became tradition. Tradition became culture. Culture quietly crossed thousands of generations until it reached us. Different continents, different languages, yet the same human desire to understand what lies beyond ordinary experience. Ancient healers searched for relief. Ancient shamans searched for meaning. Both were asking questions about being human. History isn't only about kings or wars. Sometimes it's hidden inside the smallest habits we never question. One encounter on a distant shore changed economies, cultures, and millions of lives in ways nobody expected. The next time you watch smoke rise into the sky, remember, you're looking at something older than civilization itself. Every ordinary moment hides an extraordinary history. Subscribe to the Aralis, and let's keep uncovering them together. Every fire eventually becomes embers, but the stories carried through its smoke can outlive generations. This is the Aralis, where forgotten history finds its voice again. Every story we share is built from archaeology, history, and scientific research brought together with curiosity and respect. History is never finished. Every new discovery changes how we understand the people who came before us. If this story stayed with you, another one is waiting just beside it. Choose where your curiosity goes next. Subscribe to the Aralis and join us as we uncover the hidden stories behind the ordinary moments of human history. Thank you for spending these moments with us. Until our next journey, take care and stay curious. Even our ancestors stumbled sometimes. Curiosity only asks that we keep getting back up.